And did you do like community service projects in Agua Fria?
We did many things. The money that we raised was for educational things that we did. We were involved one time with I'm not sure if it was Game and Fish or the Forest Service. There was a real epidemic of bubonic plague that was affecting the whole area, and somehow the Forest Service or the Game and Fish found out about us and asked us to help them make bait traps for the prairie dogs and the squirrels and rodents that were spreading the disease. So the idea was to take a bunch of PVC pipe, I think it was like 4-inch pipe, and cut it and make holes and make a way for it to be anchored next to the burrows and stuff where these animals were, and then they would coat it with flea powder. So as the animals went through, they'd coat themselves with the flea powder to kill the fleas, and that was one of the summer projects that we did. We also were involved, cutting weeds around the church and cleaning up around the the rectory, and then also we were involved in what there was something that was just slipped my mind down now. I can't remember. Politically, we were very politically involved. Also, we lobbied for the lowering of the voting age
Okay.
to 18. I can't remember all the things that we were involved in, but there was quite a few. We were always busy doing something. A lot of times promoting youth and the positive aspects of youth in the community.
So you must have had to recruit more young people into it. How did you do that?
It just happened. It became very very not popular, but it was a good thing to do because there were so many activities. Back then there was nothing for kids to do except go to the river or go shooting or go whatever. But this was an organized activity that gave kids a reason to come together, to come to the meetings, to contribute their ideas, to to be involved. And then when we started doing the floats and the food booths at the parade, at the fiestas and stuff, and being involved in the parade and things like that, it just everybody would look at us and I want to be a part of that. So I remember hanging around with John, Mel's brother, and Philip. We just had the best time. We were all involved in Magma, and we were building a float. That's another float that we did, was a huge ship. It was what do you call it? A sailing ship, with the masts and things like that. And we did that over at Johnny's place. The whole summer we were there, just having a good time, figuring out how to bend wood to make it, put the ribs on the boat and everything, put it on the trailer, and it was pretty big. I don't remember how big it was, but it's probably 20 feet long.
It's so popular. One thing that struck me was they entered these into the state fair parade in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a huge volcano, a ship, rock being towed all the way to Albuquerque, and they won prizes over there as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, Gilbert, there was a cutoff age. I was never able to be a member of Magma because I was already 23 or so, 24 years old, when their generation started to sing. I was tried to be as instrumental as I could, as far as Gilbert ended up being a great musician, helping me with with music, etc. My brother Johnny and Philip Bird also, and but what was it, 21 or what you could not be?
I don't remember, but above a certain age you couldn't be a member, but you could be on the board of directors.
Board, but they wanted to keep it as a youth, organization.
Yeah, so that the adults wouldn't take over the whole thing. So, but we did have directors.
Can you lay out how Magma started? What you remember of how it started, or who
You
it
know,
was?
the instrumental person that I always remember was Steve Pike. Steve Pike and,
And
and,
Frank.
and my brother Frank.
Huh.
I think they were just sitting around one night talking about how, how nice it would be to get stuff for the kids to do in a positive way. And
Do you know about when that happened?
it had to be in the mid 60s.
In response to the 60s?
Yeah, it was in response to the 60s, trying to get a positive response to all the negative things that were going on around the nation.
And what were some of the things that were happening in Santa Fe?
Not too much. There wasn't a lot of. At least I can't remember. Well, the hippie movement was going on, but that was California. You know, the riots and stuff were mostly in the big cities. We'd hear about them all the time, so it was affecting us. And then Vietnam was happening at the time, and so we knew all about that. And then the movie Billy Jack came out, and just a lot of influences that were affecting the young people at that time. And I think Frank and Steve just one day got together and said, let's try to do something. Let's try to get the kids involved in something positive.
And what were some of the first efforts?
Organizational meetings, just starting to give us the young because I was the younger generation, trying to give us the hope and the faith that as young people we could do things that matter, that we can make a difference and we can make change.
Right about that time, Vatican II also changed things. Mass no longer had to be in Latin; it could be English, Spanish, etc. And for me, and in that case, in Connection, we were able to have amplified music as well as percussion in the church. And I guess they saw that across the nation there were some young youth groups that were really getting into the ministry, music ministry, etc.
Yeah.
And that was just one. It was that was also a glue to help but they took it a step beyond into that. They got involved in other than just church matters, which eventually kind of hurt the thing because they wanted to help as much as they could others. In other words, not just the church itself and well, hopefully I'd like to have Frank come by and share with us, and maybe even Steve if he comes around and see what happened, because we lost a tremendously. I mean, this organization was so great. The Pope sent them a papal blessing, and they had a picture, to Magma and all that, and autographed and everything else by the Pope, saying that he knew of their involvement and efforts to make the world a better place, and
Yeah, the thing also that I remember was that it was a time of like a real revival, where the young people through music, especially through music, which Rubel was very instrumental in doing, and then he got his brother John and Philip. And I learned how to play guitar from Philip, and just we were just singing folk songs and real spiritual music, as well as a lot of country music or things like that. But we started bringing new kind of music into the church, into the mass, and it inspired a lot of young people, and it was a real time of revival where young people got very involved in the church.